Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Algebra 2. We're looking at 7.3. If you remember at the beginning of 7.2, I said division has kind of its own rules, kind of plays by its own rules, so we got to talk about this separately. So what you're looking at is trying to do it by synthetic, always trying to do it, or trying to do it kind of the old-fashioned long division you might remember from elementary school. So let's take a look at kind of what we're talking about here. Ariana needed 140x squared plus 60x square inches of paper to make a book jacket 10x inches tall. In figuring the area she needed, she allowed for the front and back flap. If the spine of the book jacket is 2x inches and the front and back of the book are 6x inches, how wide are the front and back flaps? So here's kind of what you're looking at. The total area is this. Okay, so what you're looking at is this. You're trying to figure out F, okay? So you're going to have 2F plus this, and this. So that'll be 14x times 10x equals 140x squared plus 60x. So if I just divide everything by 10x first, that's going to be kind of nice because that cancels that out. Then I'm left with 2f plus 14x, and that's going to equal 14x squared plus 6x. Then if I subtract 14x, now I'm just going algebra here. Then divide by 2. So f is going to equal 7x squared minus 4x. Make sure I did that right. You know what? I made one mistake. I forgot to scratch out the x's here. Because when I divide by x, this should have gone away. This should have gone away, and that should have gone away. So instead of 14x squared and 6x, it should have just been 14x plus 6. And then when I subtracted this 14x, that cancels out. I should have just been left with 6, which makes my answer way easier. F is going to be 3. I'm sorry, I completely biffed that. My mistake was not dividing by the x here. So when I do that by 10x, I should have gotten 14x plus 6. Not this. 14x plus 6. So now what am I doing? I'm dividing a polynomial here. So I'm dividing a polynomial, in this case by monomial, by a one-term thing. This is actually not too bad. This is pretty straightforward. And to me, if you kind of starting to develop some math instincts, this is exactly what you would think it is. So if I'm doing number 1, all I'm going to do is take each part divided by it. So simplify this, left with x squared. Simplify this, left with 2. Simplify this, left with 3x. Put it in standard form, which is highest exponent to no exponent. There's my divided answer. So 2, same kind of idea, just a little bit more going on, but still manageable. So I want to take every piece and divide it by the bottom. Minus 20ab to the 5th over 8a to the 4th, b to the 3rd. So now here's simplifying. You're going to test your simplifying skills here. This is going to make you work a little bit. So for this one, 16 over 8 is 2. A to the 5th over a to the 4th is just going to leave me a in the top. B to the 3rd cancels out. Second one, 12 over 8. That simplifies to 3 over 2, so I can make it 1/2. The A's, I'm going to have 1A in the bottom. And B's, I'm going to have 1B in the top. So that's that one simplified. The last one, 20 over 8. If I divide both those, that's going to be 5 over 2. A to the third in the bottom, B squared on top. So that's going to be my fully simplified answer right there. So now, yeah, that one's going to test your simplifying skills. But remember, divide numbers, subtract exponents, you'll be fine. So here, last one, so 9x squared y to the third minus 15xy squared over 3xy squared plus 12xy cubed over 3xy squared. So now when I start to put this together, this becomes 3xy, because, x squared over x, y cubed over y squared, that's going to be in the top, minus 15 over 3 is 5, x over x cancels out, y over y cancels out. So these two cancel each other out. All I'm left with is 5. Plus 12 over 3 is 4, x's cancel out, y on top. There's my final simplified answer right there. So now, long division and synthetic division play a little bit different role. And here's kind of what I want you to see. First thing, this is no longer a monomial, okay? These are now binomials. These are two-term things. All right, so when I'm dividing by long division, this is kind of what it looks like. It looks like when you were a kid and you did long division with numbers, okay? So I go z squared plus 2z minus 24. Okay, divided by z minus 4. So now here's what I do. All right, I focus just on the front, okay? I focus just on the front, and I take what times z equals z squared. Well, that's going to be just z. So I put z up here, okay? Z times z is z squared. Now I take z times the negative 4. That's going to be negative 4z. Okay? So z times negative 4, put it under here. Then I subtract it. I subtract the whole thing. So z squared minus z squared, 0. 2 minus a negative 4z is going to be 6z. Drop down the next thing. Okay, so now you got to ask. Let me get that out of here. So now you got to ask, what times z gives 6z? Well, I'm really, really hoping you said 6, because that's what's going to come up here. So I'm going to put up a 6. So then we're going to multiply 6 times z, 6z. 6 times a negative 4, negative 24. Subtract the whole thing. My remainder is 0. That means it's perfect. So that means z plus 6 is my answer. All right, so that's long division. And it's not too dissimilar from when you were a kid and you were doing, what's 123 divided by 6? Well, 6 goes into 12. 2 times 6 goes into 3, 0 times. So 12 minus 12 is 0. You drop down 3. So you get 0. So you have a remainder of 3. It's that same kind of idea. That doesn't go away. Oops, stop doing that. So then when I come over here to talk about synthetic, synthetic looks like this. Synthetic means I just take all the numbers. So synthetic means I take 1, I take 2, I take negative 24. And I set it up like this. And then out of what I'm dividing, I take the opposite of what's there. So if that's z minus 4, I want a positive 4. So here's what I do. Drop, multiply, put my answer there, and add. So I drop 1, multiply by 4, add. So once I put my answer there, multiply, 24, add is 0. So this becomes remainder, this becomes number, this becomes x. So my answer becomes x plus 6. So I work backwards. This is my remainder, this is my number, or my constant. This is going to be my x value. So let's take a look again. Didn't we just do that problem? I feel like we just did. Nope, it was 2z, wasn't it? So anyway, long division, z squared plus 2z minus 24, z minus 4. That was terrible. That's a z, by the way. So again, what times z matches you with z squared? Well, hopefully you say z. So then multiply, multiply. So that's going to give me z squared minus 4z. Subtract. This was the exact same. Why am I doing this? You guys already did this one. Let's skip. All right, so 4 and 5. Use long division. So let's use long division then, like they said. So for here, so 2x third plus 6x plus 152, x plus 4. So again, x to 2x third. So I'd multiply that, I would get 2x squared. Aha, notice something. Notice how I skip from x cubed to x. There's no x squared term. I need to account for that. And the way that I account for that is by putting 0x squared plus 6x plus 152. So I add one more step, just as kind of a placeholder. It doesn't do anything. It just kind of sits there and just kind of holds that spot. So then when I multiply it back, I get 2x to the third plus 8x squared. Subtract. That gives me negative 8x squared. Drop the next thing. So what times x gives me negative 8x squared? Well, I'm really hoping you say negative 8x, because that's what I want to multiply back next. Let's change colors here. So when I do that, that's going to give me negative 8x squared minus 32x. When I subtract that, this becomes 0. 6 minus a negative 32 will be negative 38x plus 152. So now, x times what equals 38x? I'm really hoping you say 38. So multiply that back. So you get 38x plus 38 times 4. 38 times 4 is 32. Yeah, that'll be 152. 0. When I subtract it, I'll get 0. So that's my answer. 2x squared minus 8x plus 38. There's my answer. There's my divided answer. Now, if I do this one by long division, same idea. Now let's go yellow again. Now let's go a different color. Let's go orange. So 2x to the third plus 5x squared minus 2x minus 15. All that's there, 2x minus 3. And let me give myself a little more room. 2x minus 3. So what times 2x gives me 2x to the third? I'm really hoping you say just x squared. So multiply that back. So you get 2x cubed minus 3x squared. Subtract it. So when I subtract it, I get 8x squared. Drop the negative 2x. 2x times what gives me negative 8, or 8x squared. So this will be 4x, multiply it back, 8x squared minus 12x. When I subtract it, I should get a 10x minus 15. So final step here, that's going to be plus 5. When I multiply it back, I should get 10x minus 15, remainder of 0. So this is my answer, x squared plus 4x plus 5. Boom, thank you for playing. All right, so using long division again here, I skip one. So 4x to the 4th minus 17. Well, actually what I want to do is skip that. I want to go plus 0x to the 3rd minus 17x squared plus 14x minus 3 all over 2x minus 3. So again, 2x to 4x to the 4th, well, that'll be 2x to the 3rd. Multiply, multiply. So that'll give me 4x to the 4th minus 6x to the 3rd. That'll give me 6x to the 3rd minus 17x squared. Now, 2x to 6x to the 3rd, that'll be 3x squared. Multiply, multiply. 6x to the 3rd minus 9x squared. Remember, I'm subtracting. So negative 17 minus negative 9, that'll be a negative 8x squared plus 14x. So 2x to negative 8x squared is going to be negative 4x. Multiply it back. That's negative 8x squared. And negative 4 times negative 3 will be positive 12x. And then when I subtract it, I get 2x minus 3. 2x to 2x is just 1. When I multiply it back, I get 2x minus 3 for an answer of 0. All right, try the next one on your own. Try on own. And let me see what you get. All right, so one more word problem here. Let's get going. So basically I'm dividing 3x squared minus 19x plus 20 divided by 3x minus 4. So 3x into 3x squared will just be x. 3x to the squared minus 4x. Divide that, that'll be negative 15x plus 20. 3x into negative 15x is going to be negative 5. Multiply it back, it'll be negative 15x plus 20. So that'll give me 0. So my answer is just going to be x minus 5. That's all I got. This is a process. This takes some time. So please, please, please practice. Go slow. Check signs. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later. 7.3 Long division.